everybody, welcome to Cinema Trailer News. My name is Chris and this will be my review for Twohey. There's so much within this film. New York Times reporter Megan and Jodi break one of the most important stories in our generation, a story that helped launch the Me Too movement and shatter decades of silence around the subject of sexual assault in Hollywood. Now, there are some visual scenes in this movie that don't even necessarily show anything that happened, but just from the dialogue and the imagery that we get. Some of my favorite scenes in the entire film, just because the way they were given to us is really well done, and it's a very well done movie all the way around. And I think of those moments and I think of our two leads. Now I say our two leads because it's very hard to distinguish who is the lead of this film. If they go best actress as opposed to best supporting actress, who will it be? Will it be Carey Mulligan or Zoe Kazan? I'm going to leave Mulligan, but I think if she gets a nomination, it will be in supporting, because that's the best way to get her that nomination. Not only do you have two strong lead performances and both just doing excellent work across the board, the cast as a whole is great. Some of them are really taking advantage of, right? You have Jennifer Ely, Patricia Clarkson, who is there. She's great. Her character doesn't have enough to do. Now, Andrew Broadway, the last 20 minutes of the film, some of the best line in the entire film, and I wish we got a more screen time. It was fantastic. Anastasia Borch is fantastic. Samantha Morton. It's just a good cast, and that's probably a big takeaway after the movie ended. I do wish we would have gotten more moments with those other characters, just because it's an all-encompassing story, and it's not just a story that focuses on a handful of people, and thankfully it doesn't. We actually started in the first 10 to 15 minutes in a place to where I'm very happy that we covered that, because it's kind of integral to where the story goes. But that first 15 to 20 minutes, I thought they were sloppy edited. I was having issues with the way the scenes were put together. I didn't love the editing as a whole in this movie. It did get stronger as the movie went on. On a technical level, you expect this, and the obvious comparison is going to be Spotlight, because it's a spotlight sort of film. You're dealing with a paper, in this case the New York Times, and these two characters, especially in the beginning, they are so focused on uncovering the madness, taking lead of things and pushing against Harvey Weinstein and everyone involved, and just wanting the truth to come out, which is a very important theme. But we're also on a time crunch, and the goal of the film is a kind of a build up that adrenaline and intensity to where we get to the final 10 to 15 minutes of the movie, everything culminating and coming to a head. And I think the movie does that very well. But when we look at the filmmaker as a whole, and some of the puzzle pieces were put together, they were quite put together with a lot of style and flair. I think of Bombshell and what they did, sort of Adam McKay type of vibe. Thankfully, this movie isn't going for that and it's keeping it a bit straightforward, because I feel like what we're dealing with in this movie, you have to kind of play it straightforward, and this movie does that. The emotional moments with our two leads are fantastic, but I just wish there were a bit more of those characters so I can guess I can follow the writing from that standpoint. But in terms of the dialogue itself, uh, it comes down to the conversations between those reporters and everyone they are interviewing when the truth is slowly seeping out, and we as an audience are learning this at the same time as these reporters. Those are the most intense scenes, and those are the moments where your hands are going to stand up on your arms and you're going to get chills. The fact that you can even, if they're not saying something, they're thinking of something and feeling something, and those are the moments that are going to get you. Now the filmmaking and cinematography here is stunning, and there are scenes where the camera will just move to a location, and this location maybe where something happened, and it's being described via voiceover, and there are even scenes where you get a text at the bottom of the screen and you hear a real conversation between Harvey Weinstein and those women, but they didn't want to recreate it in a the scene in a visual way, and that's a stunning decision. That's the kind of a decision that allows a movie like this to get looked a bit more. So when it comes to the Oscars at the end of the year, I definitely see a screenplay here, because even though I wanna an expansion of some of these characters, it's a very straightforward film. So while we actually do get the dialogue and how it plays towards the story, that's incredible. And I see some acting nomination here. I see probably Kelly Mulligan. I will be happy if she gets nominated. And it's hard to see anyone else. I think Kansan deserves it. I don't know if she's going to actually get it. And again, there are some occasions where it just kind of feels polished, because there are more people at fault than just Harvey Weinstein, and there are also people that allow all of this to happen, and that's probably a bigger number than what we actually been getting from real and in this movie. But the film it seems kind of content to pointing fingers at just a handful of individuals, and well, in real life, that shouldn't be the case. It may be the case, but it shouldn't be the case, because I do wish there would have been more of a expansion on who are we blaming here, and who just kind of let things slide and not even talking about what happens in the film, but the way it wraps up, I could have used a bit more of that. But j- maybe that's just a personal complaint with the film. Now I said that she said effectively delivers its message with several stunning performances. There are few issues with the structure, but the script is excellent, and overall the impact is a positive one. And I think that this is a movie that is a must watch. Now, not only because of the story and the subject they're dealing, because they make some interesting creative choices with this that I found fascinating, and it's overall it's just a really great movie to be a watch, and certainly a really important one. So that's my review for Chise. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, consider subscribe to your channel, and like always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.